welcome to Sweden and Solna, our new complex here. I've talked to quite a few people here today that we are very proud of our new office, Arbetsförmedlingen, Swedish Theisz. So we're very, very glad to have you all here. Not everybody's here, but some people are on the way, so that's why you have a few empty spots here. But I think we'll manage during this day anyway. So very, very warm welcome to everybody who's here. We are all here because we find organizational learning necessary in order to take charge of our society and the techniques it requires. I am Anna Palmgren. I work here at Arbetsförmedlingen, Swedish Theisz, with digital engagement, which is a unit that focuses on digital transformation within our own organization. And I will be moderating the workshops that we have today and tomorrow. So the emergency exits, probably you've already seen them. There's one there and one there. Not here, so don't go running there if something happens. It's out this way, please. And we also have the restrooms that way, so it's usually this way that you go if you want to go somewhere. If you want to keep your clothes in here, you can, but there's also coat rooms around this floor if you want to hang it there somewhere. On your tables there are some programs if you want them. You also have them via email, I think, all of you, so if you don't want the papers you can use it digitally. You also will get an email with a evaluation. We would be very, very happy if you fill it in before you leave. There's also going to be a QR code that you can use if you want to do it digitally and not wait for the email. You do what you feel best. And also, if you want to use our Wi-Fi, there is one that is open here. It's called AF Gast. There's no password or anything, but you have to sign in with your email address. So you can use that if you want. And I think if you can give us as much feedback as you want, we will be very, very happy to listen to what you have to say. So I think it's time to start this day, don't you think so? It's about time to get started. I think everybody has had a cup of coffee and are happy to get this party started. So I would like to introduce our Deputy Director General at Arbetsförmedlingen, but she's not here. So we have somebody who will be Maria Mindhammar today. So I'll introduce you, Eva, but with Maria's startups. So she is the Deputy Director General at Arbetsförmedlingen and lives in the archipelago of Gothenburg, and she's a fan of Utsiktens BK, a very famous Swedish football club. Not very famous, but still a Swedish football club. She is appreciated for her internal videos. It's called Mindhammar's Minut, and the Swedish people who are here have probably seen it. If you're interested, let us know and we'll show it to you. And I would like to welcome Maria Mindhammar, who is now Eva Theisz. Welcome.
Yes, it's always nice to be the stand-in, huh? But it's so nice because later on Anna will be Florence from France. So we are actually multi-competent in our roles today. Yes, today is an exciting day in many ways because of this seminar and because of this workshop, but also because we are getting a new Director General appointed today. And this is probably why Maria is not here, because the government is actually appointing the Director General. We don't know who it will be, but of course there are probably press and discussions, with media. So I think she sends her warmest apologies for not being here with you today, and I think Anna will take care of you, or Florence, will take care of you. And Florence is not here because of the strikes in France. So there are a lot of things happening. And I think also some of our participants are still missing because maybe the GPS to this address is still very new, so maybe the taxi can't find its way. But we will hope they will arrive very soon, because there are guests from far, far away, from the Philippines and from US, Australia, Japan. So we really hope that they will join us very soon. But anyway, warm welcome to Stockholm, to Sweden. My name is Eva Theisz, as Anna already presented. I'm the Director of International Affairs here at Arbetsförmedlingen. So I'm also responsible for the WAPE's cooperation and coordination within the organization. It's very nice to have you here in Stockholm in our new headquarters, which is brand new, I would say. We moved here in the end of August, so we're still finding our way around, and still the functionality of all the space that we have, because this is an activity-based space where you don't have your own desk. There are different zones where you can work in different ways, all to enhance organizational learning in a way. More ad hoc, not so systematic, but still, a way of sharing experiences as well. But I think it's a great opportunity to be with you these 1.5 days, to have the chance to discuss all these very important topics on organizational learning and how we could help our PESs to become even better at what we do on an everyday basis. And why do we do this then? For us it's an important aspect, of course, because the world is turning so quickly, and the labor market is changing really rapidly, and together with the vast technological developments, the public employment services have to adapt in an agile way to better respond to all the demands of the labor market and all the actors around us in our partners. The PES supports the function of the labor market, being a conductor on the labor market, being a provider on the labor market, but also being a partner to other providers on the labor market. And I believe that we as WAPES member can increase our efficiency through innovation and systematic learning. This is why we are here. And disseminating all the insights and the knowledge which is actually present in this room, I think this is very critical to improving our performance. And we have experienced that this is also a struggle many times within the PESs, to have this as a top priority when there are so many other priorities, political priorities in an organization. Different strategies need to be implemented. There is not one way fits everybody, but to reduce the risk that innovation, a process of innovation, as well as development of service delivery will be put or stay at a local level and not sharing the experiences and the way of doing things within the organization. And in an age driven by technology and information, I think organizational learning has not only become a part of a successful PES in the 21st century, but a key ingredient. And we have also got this feedback that we need to develop our organizational learning. So we thought, what's the best way to do this? Yes, we invite our colleagues who are the experts and who struggle with the same challenges that we are doing to discuss this. And maybe we can learn a lot from you. I think we can learn a lot from you these days. We are not only getting a new Director General today, we are in the midst of a major reform. It has been a political decision in the beginning of the year, and we will totally change the mission of Arbetsförmedlingen. We will still remain a state authority and an expert on the labor market, providing analysis and statistics and so on, and also performing some of the public agency duties, like control of job seekers, control of providers, and so on. But the main change is that the job matching, which we do a lot, of course, is one of our main tasks today, will be done by private actors. So this will be outsourced to private providers. And we have to develop a new system where the independent actors match and equip the job seekers for vacant jobs. And our duty in this process will be to assess the job seeker's position on the labor market before we can, hand them over, so to speak, or help them by private providers. One main task that will still remain also within the PES is the infrastructure, the digital infrastructure of matching. So this has to be, you know, a kind of an ecosystem where we will be the conductor, but not the provider in many ways. And I'm telling you on an overall, you know, on a very high level aspect, because we don't know what will happen. We're in the midst of this, and there are so many questions and so many challenges left. So we will have a very intense next year or next 2 years, because this is supposed to be in place in the end of 2021. So when we talk about organizational learning, you understand it's even more important for us in this aspect. And I think throughout the workshop we will highlight and discuss crucial themes on organizational learning for public employment services. And I think this is one of the core values of being a member in the WAPES, so have all this access to knowledge and to experience that we can share for inspiring each other to become better at what we do. To be a successful organization and an attractive employer, which is also a very important aspect, we must work together to gain experience, to systemize the learning in order to constantly develop the way we are working. It is important that we include the lessons that worked in the past to build systems for the future, but not to hinder the innovation that is, you know, needed for continuing this trip. And we need to be successful. We need to be successful for many reasons. One is, of course, we are handling taxpayers' money, but mainly because we have such an important mission. The mission to help people to get to a job or an education, to have prosperity in their life. And I think this is the goal we have to keep, you know, in front of us when we do all these different systematic learning exercises or organizational changes or whatever we do in our organization. I hope really that this workshop will give us occasion to share these good practices or even bad practices. I mean, we learn from our mistakes as well, and to get inspiration from each other. So I urge you really this is not a workshop where everything will be told from here. We will give some inspiration and some insight, but I think the main work will be done by you. So thank you in advance for your active participation, which you know, it's needed, and also for your attention. So go ahead, Florence, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. I think we didn't need Maria here. Eva did a great job, didn't you? Very well done. Thank you. And if I could just add a thing to what you said, Eva, I think we also have to remember that we have asked the customers what they want, and they want the organizational change. So it's just not that we need to do something for the society. The customers want us to, which is also a good thing to remember when we see the chaos or the feelings or the transformation that we have in front of us. So thank you so much, Eva, for sharing that with us. And now I'm going to be French. It's a very difficult thing for me because I don't speak any French. And this is in English, and she has sent an email to Ulf, which I am now reading from Florence de Montier. She is working at the Pôle Emploi, and she is also representing the Vice Presidency of WAPES Region Europe. And she's rather new in this position, as I've heard. Unfortunately, we don't get to meet her because there is a strike, like you said, Eva, and she cannot make it here. We hope that the strike is not the reason why people haven't showed up here, but might be, we don't know. Okay, so I'm Florence now. First of all, I would like to share my pleasure to be with you today. That was not the best. Okay, I would like to thank our Swedish friends for their warm welcome on behalf of all the participants. I also thank our Norwegian colleagues who jointly organized this conference. Thank you. I want to have a thought for Ms. Gauvin, which is very implied in this network. As you all know, I recently took up my position as Director of Europe and International Relations within Pôle emploi, but also as Vice President Europe for the European region of WAPES, an association that is dear to us. The world of work is changing very quickly, and our institutes are following its evolution by adapting their service offer. This generates rapid and constant changes in our means of intervention, but beyond that, the vision that each of us has of our occupation is also impacted. In this respect, knowledge management is a challenge for all of us. It is, in addition, an important condition for success within our own respective institutions. The theme of this conference that brings us together is that the heart of this matter of concern. Our work will allow us to reflect together on the challenges, methods used, and the impacts of knowledge management from the perspective of an implementation of knowledge management, which is adapted to the context of our respective public employment services. At this stage, it might be interesting to put forward some practical information on knowledge management. For example, within Pôle emploi, knowledge management first starts by providing all advisors with a common initial training. Within local agencies, some advisors are considered and identified as contact points by their peers on specific topics such as training, inclusion, disability, job search on board. To ease the process towards digitalization and ensure digital skills for all advisors, digital ambassadors have been put in place within local agencies. Furthermore, specific tools have been created such as Booty, the unique database for documentation and information. On a European level, the bench learning process and thematic learning dialogues are levers used to share knowledge within the PES network and develop practices internationally based on mutual learning. Many tools and good practices exist within our respective PES. These 2 days enable us to discuss organizational learning as a way to improve performance, and I trust we will all make the most of this opportunity. I wish us all an excellent conference.